What's up, guys? This is Zach from Bet on MMA, and I'm here to give you my early predictions on UFC 286, Leon versus Usman. This is me, without watching film. Might have seen most of these guys fight. Some of these guys could be debuting, and this is me just taking a glimpse of their record, of their names, and just giving you a rough draft of my picks. Currently it is Sunday. By the time we give you our picks, it will be either Thursday or Friday. So I'll be watching film all week on these guys, giving y'all the best insight I can on these fights. But like I said, don't put too much stock into these. These are just me looking at what I see right now on paper and based upon what I've seen in the past. All right, with that being said, we're gonna jump into the first fight. We have Veronica Macedo, not too familiar with her, facing off with the latest tough winner, Juliana Miller. Looking at Veronica's resume, she is 1-4 in the UFC. So that kind of tells me that they're using this fight to build up Juliana Miller. Does have a submission win over Poliana Viana though by armbar, so that's something to keep in mind. Lost to Gillian Robertson, no shame in that. Lost to Andrea Lee, no shame in that. I mean, she's fought some really good guys, good girls, but I just feel like Juliana Miller, winning the Ultimate Fighter. I mean, you're gonna have more resources, more girls to train with. She's only gonna get better. I feel like Juliana most likely wins this fight on the ground. All right. Moving up the card, we have Jai Beard, familiar with him, facing off a little bit Klein, familiar with him. Let's take a quick look at their records. Jai Abert, 2-3 in the UFC, but his losses are to Moicano, Francisco Trinaldo, and Ilya. He does have two wins in the UFC over Conor Worthy and Cal Nelson. Ludovic Klein, he is 3-2 in the UFC. That's going to be a close matchup. Wins over Mason Jones. He was, a highly touted prospect coming in. Split decision over Devontae Smith. Lost to Nate the Train, lost to Mike Trezano, two guys that push the pace. But has a win over Shane Young. I'm gonna go with Jai Ebert. Probably by decision, but very close fight in this one and a very good matchup. Like I said, both guys have, you know, almost the same wins and losses coming into this in the UFC. All right, moving up to the third fight of the card, we have Joanne Wood, facing off with Luana Carolina. Very familiar with Wood. I mean, she's been in the UFC for quite a while. I want to say she was on the Ultimate Fighter 115 division when Rose was on there. So that just lets you know how long she's been in the game. She was very close to title contention at one point, but she's coming off a 3-fight losing streak. Um, but only losing to the best man. Her last fight, Alexa Grasso. Come on, she's champ now. Talia Santos could be champ. You know what I mean? But has good wins also. Jessica I, Andrea Lee, Ariana Lipsky, just seen her. So I mean, up and down career right now, and she is also 37. We take a look at Carolina's resume. She's gonna be a younger girl coming into this, 29. She's 3-2 in the UFC. Uh, but she's known right now for spinning back elbow loss to Molly McCann. Um, Good win over Godinez. Lost to Ariana Lipsky. Went over Cachoeira. Cachoeira is doing good right now. So based on experience, I'm gonna give this to Wood. I think Wood probably gets the decision, but we've been seeing these younger fighters take on vets, and it's either the vet has too much experience or this is the fight where they slow down. Girl fighters tend to fight a little bit longer. I'm gonna go with Wood on this one, but another tricky fight to call. Moving up the card, we have Jake Hadley, familiar with him. Facing off of Malcolm Gordon, familiar with him. Hadley is a very good prospect to watch at 125. Very good ground game, very good stand up, good scrambles. And Malcolm Gordon is just a guy who's going to be in your face in the fight the whole time. Not necessarily like a standout, in any aspect of MMA, but can do it all. A well-rounded fighter with a lot of experience. Very good fight for Hadley, man. This is gonna test him. We've seen Gordon with his last fight with Mokaev, man. He pushed Mokaev, man, and got in some dominant positions. I'm gonna go with Hadley in this one, but this is very tricky because Gordon, is a vet, and he showed in his last fight when he's fighting prospects. He's not just a guy to get run over. He's in there the whole time. So yeah, going with Hadley on that one. Next up, we have a guy. I want to say I've seen him a couple times in Cage Warriors, 7-0. Christian Duncan taking off with I always butcher this guy's name, but I've seen him fight before. Dusko. We're just gonna say Dusko. But I want to say Dusko is coming off a win versus Jordan Wright. Yeah. Went over Jordan Wright, had the loss to Chitty. And in the UFC, let's see what his record is. 3-3. So he's split right now. A little bit of inconsistency. And then we have a guy 7-0 in Duncan, who, he's from the UK. They're probably looking to build him up. Man, you got a guy 3-3 fighting a guy coming off his debut. But man, this dude has fought nothing but good records. I mean, his first fight 3-1, second fight 4-2, third fight 5-0, fourth fight 5-1, next one 10-5. So I mean, he's fought good records. Not like he's a 7-0 can crusher. You know what I mean? Looking at his amateur background, he was 18-5 with a lot of MMAF experience. You know what I mean? So he's not just a 7-0 guy. He got a lot of experience. I'm gonna go with, just looking at the resumes. I gotta go with Christian Duncan on this one. 7-0, fought good guys, and Dusko is a little bit too inconsistent for me. Moving up the card, we have Lerone Murphy. Seen him fight before. Facing off with Gabriel Santos, 10-0 fighter. Not too familiar with him. Last two fights are in the LFA. Let's see what kind of records he's fighting. Decent competition, 10-1, 11-2, 12-6, 13-1, 12-2. But this is your UFC debut, and you're fighting a guy like Lerone Murphy, who is undefeated in the UFC. He had one draw, but I mean, he's beating guys like Ricardo Ramos, the Andrade. I gotta go with Lerone Murphy on this. I haven't, like I said, I'm not really familiar with Gabriel Santos, but I'm looking at a debut guy fighting a guy who's 3-0 in the UFC right now, and it's from the hometown. I gotta go with Murphy on this, but definitely need more film study on Santos. Moving up the card, we talked about him earlier. Muhammad Mokaev, still undefeated in the UFC, taking off with probably another newcomer, Jafel Filho. We know what Mokaev's resume is. He's coming off a win over Malcolm Garden. Want to say he's 3-0 in the UFC right now. Filho is coming off the Contender Series, beat a 7-0 guy in round 3. Left hook, I want to say I've seen that fight where it was not going his way, and then he, caught the guy knockout power. He does have losses. He has a decision loss versus a 3-0 guy. Rear naked choke loss versus 8-4. The decision could very well be a guy just taking him down, holding him down. Not sure yet, but the rear naked choke shows me that he did lose on the ground. Mokaev's a very, very good prospect who they're looking to, promote. 125 needs new guys, new killers, new prospects. And I think Mokaev gets this job done. Like I said, I need more to get more familiar with Filho, but just looking on paper, Mokaev all day. Moving up the card, we have Sam Patterson, not too familiar with him. Facing off with Yanal Ashmoz, not too familiar with him either. Probably butchered his name, but Sam Patterson, 10-1 right now. He's coming off the Contender Series. He's beat a guy 7-1, rear naked choke round 2. Besides that, 10-6, 14-1, 18-6, 9-3. So beating very good competition. His only loss was his second fight, lost by TKO. So that guy was 1-0. So yeah, it's not like he's crushing cans. That's good to see. Looking at the other guy, Yanal, he is 6-0. Last fight, Dennis Hughes, real familiar with Dennis Hughes, tough guy, hard to finish. He has a decision win over him. Before that, 4-1, 2-0, 7-3, 3-0. So I mean, these guys are still kind of early in their career. Um, I'm looking at Patterson. He's fought better competition. has more experience. I'm gonna go with Patterson on this, but I'm not too familiar with these guys. I definitely have to watch film on this one. Who we have next? Okay, moving up the card, Chris Duncan. Familiar with him off of Contender Series. Facing off with Omar Morales. Morales has a couple fights in the UFC. Familiar with him. Chris Duncan, if you're not familiar with him, he was on a Contender Series. Was close to getting stopped, man. He actually lost his first Contender Series fight, if I'm remembering right. Second fight wasn't going his way, and then out of nowhere knocks the guy out. That had to be like, yeah, 2022. Good while back. August. Morales. I want to say he's on a losing streak. Yeah, 2 fight losing streak. Medic, Pierce. Both guys are good. Went over Shane Young. Went over Benitez. I mean, he's 3-3 right now. Another 3-3 guy fighting a Contender Series debut. I'm gonna go with the debut, but this is a fight I can see going either way, man. I mean, Chris Duncan was very, very close to not getting that contract. And then he landed that punch, got him the contract. We know he's tough. Morales is hit or miss. Man, tough fight to call, but I'm gonna go with Morales right now, just based on experience. Moving up the card, we have Jack Shore taking on Malcolm Amirkhani. Amirkhani, very known for his anaconda chokes. Has plenty in the UFC. Jack Shore, known for being a guy, up and coming guy from Wales, man. I want to say he lost his last fight to Ricky Simon, but Simon's beaten a lot of top guys lately. Before that, Timur Valev. So I mean, yeah, Jack Shore is 5-1 in the UFC right now. I want to say he's ranked number 15. You're fighting a guy like Amirkhani who's kind of on the downside of his career. Amirkhani can't get you to the ground. He kind of struggles. I see Jack Shore, stuffing takedowns, probably getting takedowns of his own, and just being more well-rounded fighter on this one. So going with Jack Shore in that. Moving up the card, I love this fight. Marvin Vettori facing off with Roman Dolidze. Very familiar with both guys. Vettori, you know what I mean? We know what we're getting with him. A well-rounded guy, can wrestle, can strike, but not overly like good in any aspect. He's just very well-rounded fighter. Um, Dolidze goes in for heavy strikes, heavy leg kicks, heavy strikes standing up, and a very dynamic ground game, man. Dude's very slick, good transitions. Tough fight to pick, man. You got a guy with experience. Dolidze also has experience, but oh man. I'm gonna go with Vettori on this fight, but definitely could flip. Close fight, man. Close fight. Vettori, I just feel like has fought better competition. So I'm gonna go with Vettori, but Dolidze is so dangerous, man. Standing up and on the ground. I don't know. Like I said, nothing locked in yet, but I'm gonna go with Vettori for now. Next up we have Jennifer Maia taking on Casey O'Neill. O'Neill 9-0. A lot of people are high on her. Jennifer Maia. She's coming out. Who did she just fought not too long ago? Yeah, she beat Mariana Moroz. Stand up looked great. Before that, 2 losses over Filho and a Juligan. I mean, 5-5 in the UFC. She's known for beating, girls coming up. But I feel like Casey O'Neill is just a little bit too much right now. She's 4-0 in the UFC. She did have a split decision win over Modifier, but before that looked pretty good. She's able to get her opponents to the ground, dominate them from there. I think she'll be able to get the win over Maia. But if not, it won't surprise me, man. Maia's a vet. So as of now, going Casey O'Neill. Moving up the card, Gunnar Nelson, OG, facing off with Bryan Barberena, another OG. I don't think Gunnar Nelson has fought in yeah, 20 March of 2022. So damn near about a year. Barberena, last fight RDA in December. RDA was a little too much, but I feel like Gunnar being out so long, Barberena being very active, fighting top competition. I feel like Barberena gets the job done here. It's able to stuff takedowns, get his striking off, and probably win as a decision here. Co-main event action, we have Justin Gaethje facing off with Rafael Fiziev. Very good fight. Another close fight. Gaethje's fought the who's who. Now he's fighting the top up and coming guys. And Fiziev, probably Fiziev's toughest test, ranking wise. I just see Fiziev just being the better striker here. Gaethje does get wild. He does depend on low kicks. Fiziev is a well-known Muay Thai fighter. I feel like Fiziev probably gets it done by decision. And hell of a fight. Either guy can get caught at any time. Both throw heavy strikes. So I gotta go with Fiziev for this one. Moving up to the main event. Sorry guys, it's late right now. But Leon versus Usman, the rematch, third time they fight. Kamaru Usman in both fights pretty much dominated up until they got knocked out. Um, but some things you got to consider. Fighting in Leon's hometown, Usman is getting older. We do hear about injuries with the hand, the knees. Um, First fight was out of elevation. Usman's used to elevation. First round, Edwards looked great. And then you could tell something just changed. I feel like that was elevation. Another tough one to call, man. This fight card is gonna be tough. I don't know, man. I'm gonna go with Usman, but fuck. Edwards looked great in that first round. They're fighting not in elevation. We'll go with Usman, but I don't know yet. So tough card to pick, man. I got my work cut out. I'm gonna definitely look more into these fights, well, every fight. And me and Harley are gonna give y'all our best predictions. We're gonna let's see if I see any locks right now. Yeah, definitely see some locks already. So we're gonna give you a parlay. I mean, on all the cards we ever done, we've always had a winning record. Our parlays usually hit, and we're just here to help y'all out, man. Not financial advisors. These are our own opinions. Do your own research. But yeah, all we ask is that you support us by subscribing to our channel, liking our videos, and comment if you agree with me or disagree with it with me, and we'll comment back, man. Until then, we're gonna see y'all next time.